a decade, Floyd Mayweather proved he was among the most talented fighters on the planet. In 39 professional bouts, he never faced his equal in the ring.
I was once told it's not bragging if you can back it up.
Too much speed, maybe too much power too. Genaro Hernandez, Diego Corrales, Arturo Gatti. Mayweather had his way with fighters from 130 up to 154 pounds.
When I said I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I done it. The proof is in the pudding, I done it.
In 2007, victories over Oscar De La Hoya and Ricky Hatton cemented his status as boxing's very best. Never has it been more clear who's the world's #1 pound-for-pound fighter. But then, at the pinnacle, Mayweather stepped down from his perch atop the ring rankings.
I done what I had to do in the sport. I accomplished what I had to accomplish, and I have nothing else to prove.
Never afraid of a challenge, Juan Manuel Marquez has been proving his warrior heart over and over.
His face is ripped open, and he wants to fight on.
The Mexican fight with no fear, and I have the heart of a lion.
The Mexican technician has won titles in 3 weight divisions, while ascending the pound-for-pound ranks alongside his great rival, Manny Pacquiao. Fire against fire, down the stretch. Pacquiao's left, Marquez's right. After a controversial draw and a 1-point loss against Mayweather's heir to the pound-for-pound throne, Marquez emphatically left nothing up for debate in a war with Juan Diaz this past February.
Huge uppercut, down goes Diaz, and that will be that.
But now, the lightweight king has accepted the biggest test of his career. After a nearly 2-year layoff, the sport's most polarizing personality is back.
Some people want to see me win, some people want to see me lose. The thing is this, if I drop you, I'm gonna finish you. You better believe that, I'm gonna finish you.
Tonight meets everything, and I will prove I am the best fighter in the world.
Mayweather-Marquez is next. It's finally time for our main event. Floyd Mayweather versus Juan Manuel Marquez. A central question. Has Mayweather retained all the tools which were in his magnificent arsenal prior to the 21-month layoff? We'll see moments from now. Mayweather versus Marquez is being brought to you by MGM Grand, the city of entertainment in Las Vegas. Tecate Beer, cerveza con carácter. Also by AT&T and its new Viva Mexico wireless plan. Call to and from Mexico as if it were a local call. Southwest Airlines, grab your bag, it's on. Affliction Clothing. Military.com, all the benefits of service. And by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment brought to you by HBO. Back live at ringside, and now let's enter the ring with Michael Buffer to begin the pageantry for tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like everyone to please rise in silence as we get ready for our main event, and we honor our 2 fighters respectively with their national anthems. Here to sing the Mexican national anthem, please welcome Berto Cortez.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresta y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciño patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios se escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso patria querida que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero apresta y el bridón, y retiembla en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. Y retiembla en su centro la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón. ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México! ¡Arriba Marquez!
Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here to sing the national anthem of the United States of America, please welcome Grammy-nominated inventor of the first digital comic, Mayhem. That comic book now available on iTunes International. He's the co-star of the international motion picture hit Transformers. Here is Tyrese Gibson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free? And the home of the brave. Go get Mayhem International on iTunes, baby. I love you. One love.
Tale of the tape for Floyd Mayweather and Juan Manuel Marquez. 4-year age advantage for Mayweather. Is that neutralized by the fact that he's coming back from 21 months off and Marquez has been extremely active against the upper echelon of the sport? 1-inch height advantage for Mayweather. Arm length advantage of 3 inches for Floyd, measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, and that dimension is perhaps the best indicator to you of how much Mayweather is the bigger man. Mayweather weighing in at 146 and Marquez at 142. Marquez unofficially up to 148 tonight. Mayweather did not allow us to weigh him on our unofficial scale. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Floyd Mayweather Juan Manuel Marquez fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3-knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. Case occurs caused by an accidental headbutt. We go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell of any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
Thank you, Harold. As Juan Manuel Marquez comes to the ring, he prepares to fight Floyd Mayweather, whom he has never met before. But it is undeniably a part of the story of this fight that Manny Pacquiao now stands atop the pound-for-pound rankings ahead of Marquez, with Mayweather coming back to try to find his own place in that order once again. And Marquez, in 2 fights against Pacquiao, won more rounds than Pacquiao, may have beaten him had he not been knocked down in both fights. Does Marquez have something more to prove, Max Kellerman, than just that he can beat Floyd Mayweather?
Well, according to Marquez, he's sort of chasing Pacquiao up. Pacquiao moved up out of the division in Marquez's mind because he didn't want a 3rd fight with him. And Marquez is trying to head him off at the pass eventually. So, but I think here tonight, a win, any way he can get it against Floyd Mayweather, the naturally bigger guy, and a guy who was considered not long ago the best fighter in boxing, he'll take it.
Both of Marquez's battles against Pacquiao, Emmanuel, were knockdown, drag-out battles, tremendous physical wars. He's had a long career and some other tough fights as well.
Juan Manuel Marquez.
I think that he's going to fight a great fight, and if he can, his speed is what I'm concerned about, Jim. Is if he can show speed to come anywhere near Floyd's speed, he got a good chance of winning this fight. Don't forget, we're finishing up Mexican Independence weekend, I think, a holiday still, so it's a lot of people out here, because this is a traditional Mexican fight day.
And incidentally, somewhat in the tradition of his uncle Roger, his trainer, who was known at the height of his career as the Mexican assassin for his constant exploits against Mexican fighters. We are told that Floyd Mayweather will enter the ring to the sounds of a mariachi too tonight. Remains to be seen.
Better hope Marquez isn't Julio Cesar Chavez to his Roger Mayweather.
That was a great fight in the forum. Don't know for sure if the mariachi band will play, but that's what we were told. Meanwhile, he's being escorted in by a WWE wrestler. I believe this man's name is Triple H. Mayweather has a friendly relationship with WWE, and that's Triple H to the camera left, I'm told. Just behind Floyd's right shoulder. He has been escorted in by a variety of celebrities over the years. Probably the best choice was his Dancing with the Stars group. Mark Cuban, Helio Castroneves, and Wayne Newton.
Floyd likes to show that his brand means entertainment and the top of the industry.
Amid a cacophony of distractions, his trainer goes to trial next month on an assault charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Here comes Floyd Money Mayweather.
A recent police search at his home that netted guns and bulletproof vests, but no clear implication as to whether there's any wrongdoing by Floyd. A shooting incident at a local skating rink in which some witnesses implicated him, but others said no, he's not involved. Financial troubles, supposedly, although he claims there's no truth to that. These kinds of distractions, Emmanuel, have never bothered Floyd Mayweather.
And I don't think they'll bother him tonight. Some fighters seem to perform better under these kind of conditions. The drama that goes on in the outside life doesn't affect some fighters. Mike Tyson was that way.
No mariachi band, incidentally.
You know, Jim, earlier we were talking about the layoffs, and Emmanuel mentioned that Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard came back from layoffs successfully, and they did, but they were never quite the same.
Benny Leonard came back from 7 years off and won 18 out of 20 fights. I don't know if he was the same. That was a long time ago. And incidentally, I've been corrected on this. Apparently the mariachi music was there. It just played so low that the crowd drowned it out. And now they're both in the ring, so let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, Mayweather Promotions and Golden Boy Promotions, in association with Marquez Boxing Promotions, are proud to present the main event of the evening, 12 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Sponsored by Tecate, Cerveza con Carácter, AT&T, and its new Viva Mexico wireless plan. Quaker State, real durable oil. DeWalt Power Tools, guaranteed tough. Affliction Clothing and Southwest Airlines, grab your bag, it's on. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission Chairman Bill Brady, Executive Director Keith Kaiser, Commissioners Skip Avancino Jr., John Bailey, TJ Day, and Pat Lundville. Physicians in attendance at ringside, Doctors William Berliner, James Game, Al Capana, and Anthony Rugaroli. Timekeepers at the bell and counting for the knockdown seconds, Steve Esposito and Ernie Hardigy. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be Burt Clements, William Lerch, Dave Moretti, and inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Tony Weeks. And now, from the MGM Grand of Las Vegas, Nevada, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, with head trainer Nacho Beristain, wearing green with red, official weight 142 pounds. Professional record, an outstanding one. 50 victories, including 37 knockouts with 4 defeats and 1 draw. De Ciudad de Mexico, the 3-time world champion, Juan Manuel Dinamita Marquez. Fighting out of the red corner, with head trainer Roger Mayweather, wearing white with red and blue, official weight 146 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 39 fights, 39 victories, including 25 knockouts, and is recognized by many as pound for pound the best in the world. From Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 6-time world champion, Floyd Mayweather.
Okay, gentlemen, caballeros, you already received your instructions. Usted recibió instrucciones. Okay, look, he goes right here, it's okay, entebelo. Mira, aquí está bien, aquí no. Goes right here, it's okay, entebelo. Mira, aquí está bien, aquí no. Keep everything above the waist, de la cintura para arriba. I want a good, clean fight. Yo quiero una pelea limpia. Obey my commands at all times, above all, protect yourselves at all times. Escúchame, cuídate, listos, let's go, vámonos.
21 months ago, Floyd Mayweather was considered the best fighter in boxing. Can he make us believe that is still the case tonight?
Round 1 begins. Floyd Mayweather back in action for the first time since his conquest of Ricky Hatton at the end of 2007. Yesterday, Juan Manuel Marquez said to us, 2 counterpunchers, someone's going to have to attack. I'll be the guy. Mayweather throwing a jab that knocks Marquez back just a tiny bit. He doesn't use the jab as much as some other fighters, but he's starting out with it here tonight. Why, Emmanuel?
Well, evidently he's got Marquez fighting his thinking game. Marquez at this stage has lost his pattern already. He was supposed to come out and set a lot of pressure. Floyd has got him into playing a thinking game right now. And the jab is way better for Floyd because he's bigger. And as long as he can keep him at that space, it gives Floyd time to time him coming in, like he called Ricky Hatton. He likes to keep you where you punch at a long distance.
Maybe tonight is the night that Floyd will liberally use the jab to take advantage of the opportunity to fight a bigger man's fight.
You can see that Marquez starts out respectful of Floyd's speed, but also he almost looks a little bit intimidated by Floyd's size.
Well, what I was concerned about, I wanted to say right away, was the speed. And right now, the speed, Marquez doesn't have that to me to compete with Floyd's speed.
Marquez relies on timing, and timing does counter speed effectively.
Good quick left hook by Mayweather as he steps in. A typical tactic. Hits the left hook and then steps right on by, out of punching range.
That's his best power punches, is that left hook where he springs off his legs and gets it in, or either in the late part of the fight, the right hand lead shots. Those are his main key punches.
Very simply, if the fight is going to take place at this pace, Marquez is up against it. He needs more action and a faster pace.
Marquez has never been a fast starter. Usually takes his man's measure, much like Floyd does, and counters effectively later.
Good left hook in there by Marquez. Brings the Marquez rooters in the crowd to life.
Let him go, Floyd. Let him go. Let him go. Spot it.
And as they lean in against each other, you get a picture of Floyd's size advantages. The taller man, his shoulders are above Marquez's. Quick left hook by Mayweather as he steps in again. Mayweather blocking Marquez's left hook with his right hand. Marquez very cautious, very respectful of Mayweather in round one. In the weeks leading up to the fight, you saw Floyd Mayweather Sr. back in his son's training camp, not in the corner, but near the corner, aching, no doubt, to get a chance to say something that could mean something to his son. While Uncle Roger continues in his role.
Like you're doing right now, you gonna counter that motherfucker down, right down the street. Don't worry about it. You keep counting with the left hook or right hand, whatever you do, and then you're gonna start leading that motherfucker down the stretch. Okay? Good work.
Bring your right hand up and be careful. You can bend down a little bit so it's more difficult for him to catch you. Bring him up with the right. Come on, lively, lively. You gotta loosen up your hands. Very good, very good. You did very good. You can do it. You can do it.
Well, so much for ring rust. Floyd Mayweather in his first round in 21 months, economical and precise. 18 landed punches in 31 tries, 58%. Reducing Marquez to 4 out of 52, only 8%. A dominant round for Mayweather in round one. And a picture of the challenge that Marquez faces. Both fighters employing more left hooks than anything else so far. Mayweather's effective. Marquez is hunting and pecking, trying to find a way to land one.
It's even like Marquez is throwing those punches there. The crowd gets excited, but Floyd, particularly being that he's bigger than using his size, he just merely leans back and uses his left shoulder and his right glove, and he doesn't get hit. And that's what he does anyway, but with a smaller guy, it's even more effective.
Yeah, most of Marquez's left hooks have been easily blocked by Mayweather's right glove.
And you know,
but Floyd is trying to get that left hook of his off to catch Marquez with. And if he lands, he's going to have way more power.
Floyd is the faster fighter, obviously, so far. But they both, to me, seemed like coiled cobras. And there's tension, even though there hasn't been too much action so far, because either guy can strike just like that at any moment.
And Mayweather grins about the straight right hand, which is enough to tell you that it landed. Marquez's best punch is his straight right hands. Mayweather's is also, and there's a knockdown on a left hook. Excellent left hook, and Marquez walked right into it.
Yeah, well, I could see it coming a while back, but that's all he's been throwing at him, and he knew that sooner or later he would time him.
Marquez is in bad trouble.
We've seen him knocked down before, but not against a fighter like this. He was knocked down 3 times in the first round in his first fight with Manny Pacquiao, but then adjusted. Mayweather lands the left hook. Marquez took it well. Well, if anything, Marquez is not ceasing aggression. He's trying to step it up. He's landed a couple good shots in this round. But, of course, Mayweather has scored a knockdown on the left hook. They are fighting Floyd Mayweather's fight, and he has put Juan Manuel Marquez behind on the scorecard.
That's what I told you, Juan. That's what I told you, Juan. You bring your right down, and then he gets in. Gets in with that hook. Close your eyes. Where's the ice pack? You see, he throws the hand, and he brings it over the top lively.
Here we see Floyd landing his left hook, and you can see his left hook is way more powerful than Marquez. Because, as I said, he springs forward. He's got all of his weight on his shot. And it's just a matter of him predicting where Marquez is going to have his right hand, because he's been throwing that punch since the beginning of the fight.
It almost looked as though he adjusted the path of the hook, seeing where Marquez's right hand was set up. An amazing knockdown by Mayweather. He landed 18. Out of 34. The first 2 rounds have been a wipeout in favor of Mayweather. Some opponents have gotten discouraged against Mayweather's technical brilliance. Marquez has great heart, isn't likely to fall prey to that. It's been a technical mismatch so far. Bigger, quicker, better man, winning every exchange.
And Marquez cannot figure out how to get into the fight. He can't match it Mayweather with power, speed, and general skills. Everything he does is slower and is not as powerful. And even those type punches, Mayweather was catching those easily.
Yeah, Marquez is going to have to take chances, and we've already seen the possible results of that.
Yeah. It seems that Mayweather felt what Marquez had early and thought, this little guy can't hurt me, and was emboldened by it.
Quick left hook lands inside for Mayweather. Marquez tries jabbing to the chest, eats a left hand as he walks in. Mayweather so quick with the counters, so sharp, so accurate. Again, what 21-month layoff.
And for those who have complained in the past, and it seems like we all have, about the entertainment value Floyd brings once the bell rings. Last time we saw him against Ricky Hatton, he was pretty entertaining, and he's been pretty entertaining so far.
Here's a look at the kinds of chances Marquez is going to have to take. He'll have to eat some leather to get inside, and he did. Marquez blocks the left with his right hand. Seemed like one of the first times Juan Manuel saw Mayweather's hook coming. Gets a right hand over the top. Mayweather smirks at him.
every time that Marquez punches it, that he has to run in and do it, which means he's going to get caught sooner or later with one of those counter left hooks. He's had to lunge and punch. He can't just punch.
All right. Keep your jab working. Keep your jab working. You're doing well. You're whooping his ass. But here we got to do now. We're going to wait about another round, so we'll put a full counter on his ass. All right?
How's it going? Good. Good, you did good. But you see one punch or two. Come on, we told you it was going to be combinations there. Come on, that's it. He's got nothing, he just throws back, he doesn't throw the right. Left hooks, that's all he has, that's how he comes in. So bring it up, cover yourself against the hook, and throw the combinations, not just one punch. Come on, you've got too much to do. Throw the whole total combination, look for him.
Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger seated in row 2. George Lopez, seated near Governor Schwarzenegger, demands the camera shot. Harold, aside from George Lopez, who's the leader so far?
Okay, Jim. 3-0, 30-26. Floyd Mayweather Jr. Jim, you know, I find it very, very interesting that Floyd drops that left hand all the time, and Juan Manuel Marquez doesn't try to throw a straight lead right hand. I mean, I would throw right hands all day at Floyd Mayweather because that left hand is so low. He's got the right hand across the chest, good defense with the right hand, but he drops the left hand constantly. But he's winning his fight with great, you know, really great left hooks, nice left jabs. Look at that. He's got that left hand way down, but he scores that left jab hard to the body. 3-0, Floyd Mayweather.
You know, Juan Manuel Marquez has shown us that he's truly great at thinking his way through a fight. He makes fabulous tactical adjustments, as he did against Juan Diaz earlier this year. I'm not sure I've ever seen a look of such discouragement on Marquez's face, as was the case between rounds 3 and 4.
I agree with you, Jim. I didn't like what I saw in his eyes.
He was not looking at or listening to Nacho Beristain. He seemed to be in his own world. Mayweather again using the jab more liberally tonight than has been the case before. Probably an adjustment to his status as the bigger man in the fight.
Yes, he's looking at jab, and that's why you're going to try to time him coming in. And as Harold was saying, that Marquez should throw more right hands, but if he does, he's going to have to throw him at such a long distance that he's going to be open to get countered with a left hook as he comes in, because he's too short and too small.
So far, what's so impressive about what Floyd's doing is not only that he's imposing his size and his speed, which most people anticipated would carry the day for Floyd, but that he's standing in the middle of the ring and outthinking Marquez by such a margin.
There's the straight right hand lead, which Harold Letterman was wondering about, and that time Marquez got it across the top, eliciting a grin from Floyd Mayweather.
Even when he lands those punches, Floyd is rolling and pulling his body where he's taking the steam out of the punch. It's not like he's really there. So he doesn't take the full impact of the shots hitting him.
And he tucks his chin well behind the left shoulder.
Yeah, tucks it very with his head pulling, rolling away. But when he shoots his shot, you see he's lunging with full power forward.
And there's bleeding outside the right of Juan Manuel Marquez's right eye. Probably the product of Mayweather's persistent and excellent jab and left hook. Mayweather, so sharp, so accurate. These are clear-landed punches. You don't need to be a CompuBox counter to be able to see that Mayweather plants his jab right on Marquez's face.
When you're bigger than the guy and faster, that's a real tough combination to overcome. Sometimes the guy may be smaller like Mike Tyson was with big guys, but he overcame with his speed.
A brilliant display. Clinical boxing technicianship through 4 rounds by Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, he ain't done. Jab was kind of over that motherfucker. Right? Keep your jab working. You win every round anyway. But keep your jab pumping. Keep your jab pumping to the body, to the head. Keep your jab pumping to the body, to the head. All right? Keep your jab pumping.
Here we see which has probably been the most significant punch landed by Marquez tonight, and that was his right hand there. And even in landing that, is still, you can see Mayweather was half rolling with the punch as it came, but that's been his best punch so far of the night.
Crowd responding to the replay here in the arena. Round 5 begins. It's been all Floyd Mayweather so far. He had a knockdown in the second round, which has given him a wide margin in the fight. Harold Letterman so far has given every round to Mayweather. 5-point lead through 4 rounds on the unofficial Letterman cards. See how quick Floyd is with the right hand coming out of that break?
They're very, very fast. He's fighting really, to me, I think, a perfect fight for the most part. He's doing everything just right. Keeping the distance, the space where he can counter, can pick his punches. And he knows just a matter of time before he'll be able to catch Marquez probably with his speed, because Marquez can't handle his speed.
Oscar De La Hoya says that he simply got tired and forgot to throw his jab over the course of the last several rounds with Mayweather. Some of us believe Mayweather took it away with those singing counter right hands.
And he hasn't done it so much to Marquez. It's a different kind of fight. But Mayweather's also very good at throwing straight punches, including the right hand to the body, that takes the starch out of fighters.
Well, you can't fault Marquez for effort here in the 5th round. He just hasn't found an adjustment yet that will get him into the fight. Maybe the adjustment would be to weigh 145 pounds naturally and be about 2 inches taller.
And to be naturally a different kind of fighter. He's never been really comfortable, Marquez, being a super aggressive fighter against another top flight fighter.
As long as Marquez is going to stay back there to avoid Floyd's offense, he won't be able to mount an offense of his own. This is what he must do. But he has to be able to get off more punches than that. Mayweather's so elusive, so good with his feet. Quick left hook by Mayweather blunts the Marquez assault.
And that's very typical, same type of left hook which he knocked out Ricky Hatton with.
Fake him before you go get him. If you fake and you move, he can't catch you. Throw your combinations, Juan. Come on, you've got conditioning for this. You got conditioning for this. That's it, it's nothing there. How are we going? Well, the fight, he's winning it. He's winning it. You're closing it, the gap, but you've got to throw more punches, and your attacks have to be more continuous. Attack, but don't be frontal. Understand?
Seconds out.
Nacho Beristain telling Juan Manuel Marquez the truth.
Go out ring.
Through round 5, CompuBox averages per round. Mayweather 18 out of 30, Marquez 5 out of 43. 60% to 12%. Mismatch. Mayweather wins another round on the unofficial Letterman scorecard.
Earlier in the night, Jim, I mentioned that Mayweather not coming down to 144 pounds maybe is not such a competitive advantage, because it's not like Marquez had to make weight. He was moving up in weight. But it does seem to be a competitive advantage because it seems to have nullified Marquez's power. Mayweather looks so much physically bigger that the usually good punching Marquez's shots don't seem to bother him when they do land, and that's infrequently.
That was a perfect example of all he was punching was on the elbows and then shoulders. And then the crowd gets excited, but I haven't saw Marquez land too many, maybe about 2 or 3 clean punches in the entire fight. It's just that Floyd is too big and too smart and is doing everything that he wants to do pretty much at this stage.
Marquez excited the crowd with one left hook. Mayweather lands his own precise left hook.
After a while, you're going to see Floyd throwing more right-hand leads to that. Right about this stage, you'll see him the next. See, there he goes right there.
Yep, he's starting to dispense with the jab. He's starting to go back to the standard Floyd Mayweather pattern. Lead with the left hook, wait for the counter right hand.
I could feel it. I know him enough. I could feel what he was getting ready to do, and that's what he's going to start throwing more right-hand leads now.
And, you know, Floyd, he's standing with his hands down in front of Marquez. And, yes, he does, as I mentioned, have the size advantage. But Floyd was at his best at 130 pounds, Marquez at 126. And for a guy with a size advantage, but it's not the biggest of all time, to stand in front of a fighter as skillful and dangerous as Marquez with his hands down and have his way entirely is impressive.
I don't think he's in any danger with his hand down. I think he's too big and too fast. I mean, and he can pretty much control whatever Marquez does.
So, Max, you think Mayweather was distinctly better at 130 than he is now? I don't know that I can choose a best weight for Floyd Mayweather.
That's a good point. Kind of like Manny Pacquiao, they've been scintillating in multiple weight classes. I guess Mayweather's best night, considering the opponent, was Diego Corrales, and that was 130 pounds.
I agree with you. That was still most impressive performance.
That was definitely his best night.
But that's one of the best I've ever seen any fight have.
This is a pretty good night, too. Hatton was a good night. De La Hoya was a good night.
Well, he has mostly good nights. His nights go between good and great.
That's right.
This is a great one.
And he is punishing Floyd Mayweather, Juan Manuel Marquez in this round. And Mayweather brought the crowd out of their feet with a brilliant performance down the stretch of round 6.
Well, I told you. That motherfucker gonna be exactly like I said he was. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep your jab pumping. Don't lead right hand. You get in the corner, you can't do shit anyway. Keep pumping one more time.
Bring your head up now. Use your combinations and follow it up. Then from the body, then to the top. Straight punches.
Here you see a really perfect example of Floyd Mayweather's speed and skill. He moves from a punch, counters and lands a punch, and gets away from another punch, all at the same motion.
In 2 fights against Manny Pacquiao in 2004 and early 2008, Juan Manuel Marquez gave Pacquiao all he could handle. A draw and a 1-point split decision loss.
Yeah,
so far, Marquez has been completely dominated by Floyd Mayweather. Harold, how do you have it for 6?
Look at him, 6-0, 60-53, Floyd Mayweather. You know, Jim, he's landed that left jab beautifully, landed that straight right hand, the lead right hand, landed the left hooks. I mean, the only thing I see Marquez landing is an occasional harmless flurry that's really not doing a lot of damage. I mean, basically, this is Floyd Mayweather's fight. And, you know, I'm not a big numbers guy, but if you look at numbers, Floyd's 7 points ahead on my card, which means that he won the fight, unless Juan Manuel Marquez gets a 10-8 round somewhere along the line the rest of the fight. 6-0, Mayweather.
I think Marquez will take a 10-9 round at some point.
Hasn't seemed to win one yet. Hasn't really been close.
Let him go. Stop. Okay.
We are told by our interpreter Jerry Alaya that between rounds 6 and 7, referee Tony Weeks went to Marquez's corner and actually asked if he wanted to continue. The answer, of course, was yes. He hasn't been punished so badly that he deserves to be out of the fight on a physical basis. He's just not in it tactically.
Hands free. Stop.
Mayweather unveiling the jab again, and it seems to rock Marquez back on his heels. There's a left hook that finally landed on the face. Finally, Marquez got a clean shot to Mayweather's chin, and of course, it seemed to do no great damage.
No.
Now he smiles at the uppercut.
It created more excitement with the crowd than it did the impact on Floyd.
Stop.
Said earlier, it's like two cobras squaring off, but so far it's been more like a cobra and his prey. Mayweather pitching an absolute shutout.
Landing his right hand and his left hook with impunity, smiling, stepping back. Marquez trying so hard and getting practically nowhere. Marquez had his best exchange in that round, but P. Diddy reflects the enthusiasm of all the Mayweather rooters in the crowd for the brilliance of Floyd so far.
You've got to be more continuous. Up top, you have nothing. Bring your hands up, Juan. He's laughing, he's smiling at you because you bring your hands down. And he attacks you. You understand? Bring your hands up and throw your hands and use the combinations.
Let's take a look at where Floyd Mayweather's punches have gone tonight against Juan Manuel Marquez. 17 left hooks to the body, or left hands to the body probably, right hands, a few of them, and almost all the rest of the landed punches to Marquez's head. When you throw body shots, you're taking a little bit more of a chance that you're going to get countered. So if you're completely dominating a guy upstairs and you don't really feel a need to invest in trying to wear him down physically, then you don't bother to take too many chances throwing body shots, and that's the way Mayweather has treated this so far. CompuBox numbers through the 7th round. Mayweather 136 out of 232. That's a 60% connect percentage. Marquez has only landed 40 punches in 7 rounds. That's even fewer than Rocky Juarez landed against Chris John in a preliminary fight here in which Juarez shockingly wasn't really in it. Mayweather has done the same thing to Marquez.
And even the punches he landed were glazing punches. It was half deflected punches. He hasn't landed that many clean punches. It's those type punches out.
One left hook, a couple of right hands. Other than that, practically nothing. Mayweather has done more or less whatever he wanted to do. So he's beating up the lightweight champion, who spent most of his career at a featherweight division level. Sitting across from us, Shane Mosley, a true welterweight with muscle, who has been craving a fight with Floyd Mayweather for about 8 years and hasn't been able to get it.
Or Manny Pacquiao recently and couldn't get that one either. Why Shane Mosley is sort of frozen out of discussions concerning a super fight with Mayweather and Pacquiao is beyond me. I think that a super fight, the biggest one you can make in boxing, involves any permutation of those three.
Good news, I was told by a friend who's sitting across the ring that prior to the opening bell tonight, Mayweather winked at Mosley. Mosley took that as a sign that maybe Floyd is considering fighting it. And of course, the import of my statement that he's beating up the lightweight champion who spent most of his career as a featherweight is that Floyd is now seemingly a natural welterweight fighting as a welterweight.
He is a natural, and that's what I keep looking at. I'm still saying, to me, a junior lightweight and a welterweight, and a good welterweight. And that's why I just find it so difficult, to really get too excited when Marquez does do things. because he's not strong enough physically to affect him out on the weight.
Now, there was a lot of this in the De La Hoya fight, which prompted some over-enthusiastic De La Hoya rumors to believe that he was making a mark in the fight. But you saw Mayweather blocking the body shots with his arms. And there's Shane Mosley. Still so great. Brilliant destruction of Antonio Margarito earlier this year. Maybe the greatest performance of his career. So eager to fight Floyd Mayweather in what many see as perhaps the most physically imposing battle Floyd could choose in this weight class.
Fight 112 here. All right. We're going to start throwing some lead right hands on this motherfucker, man. Or countering, okay? So he ready to go now. He about ready to... You doing what you're doing to him.
Everything's good, Juan. Come on, you got good conditioning for this. Don't let him lead you. How you feeling, Juan? Good. Everything's okay. Well, come on, use your combinations, Juan. Combinations to the body, to the head. To the body, to the body.
Emmanuel, is it embarrassing for Marquez that he's looking for the moral victory of winning a round?
Yes, it is, but it's pretty much what I expected, to be all honest with you. But he's fighting a good fight, but he's fighting with Pacquiao, he's fighting a guy his size, and it was a great fight. But now that's why we have weight division. That's why you have 130 pounds, 135, 140, 147. And that's why we have those divisions.
And Marquez's style, as many people anticipated, though I was not one of them, his style is not translating at a heavier weight the way Pacquiao's style has translated at a heavier weight. That also may have something to do with the selection of opponents, where Pacquiao fought a drained De La Hoya and a severely weathered Ricky Hatton, and Marquez has to fight Floyd Mayweather, who then refused to drain himself at all and came in at the exact weight he wanted to fight at.
Well, I think it was smart. A lot of times fighters say, well, I'm going to make sure that no one says I beat up a little guy, so I'm going to come in smaller than him or smaller like Oscar did. So, no, I feel comfortable at this weight where I'm not going in and lighter. Yeah, pay him the money, and he kept his main natural strength. He's fighting at his natural weight, which is probably about 152 tonight.
Quick left hook landed inside for Mayweather. Marquez tries 3 of them upstairs.
Yeah, but he can't handle Mayweather's speed. Now, Mayweather's starting to step it up a little bit more, variety of things, and the speed is going to bother him even more into going down the stretch.
We're seeing how much difficulty Marquez is having against a markedly bigger man in Mayweather. Yep. November 14, Pacquiao prepares to fight what would seem to be a markedly bigger man in Miguel Cotto.
I think we're a lot of time maybe making a mistake in that, too. We keep looking at the marquee names and we keep looking at those weight divisions, disregarding the weight division. Cotto's going to be a much tougher fighter, I think, than people expect.
Yeah, will the result of this, if it sustains, create more enthusiasm for Cotto's chances against Pacquiao?
Definitely will. But see, when Pacquiao, to match, Pacquiao has a rhythm, though. He's a little different where Marquez stands more flat-footed. Pacquiao moves, dances, he catches you with counter punches in and out. He's a little bit more difficult guy to fight.
He's truly dynamic.
And he's a better puncher, and he took his punch up with him.
Yes, he did. But I still think welterweight, I just don't see it that much. I mean, I didn't consider that fight beating Oscar really a welterweight, but it wasn't Manny's fault. He did what he was supposed to do.
Brilliant combination by Mayweather. If that didn't hurt Marquez, I'm not sure what would. Marquez steps up and answers the challenge.
I have a feeling we'll see what will coming up right here.
Marquez is starting to take the kind of chances that could get him knocked out. And Mayweather seems to relish that. All the steam seems to be gone out of Juan Manuel Marquez's punches at this point in the fight.
That's it.
If there was any to begin with.
Come on, you've got to be lively. You've got to be lively, sharp. On the inside, you're not throwing punches, just there. Throw the combinations, Juan, please. 10, 11, 12, throw the combinations, please. Bring your hands back and bend your waist.
Go. Keep doing like what you just did this round.
Here you see a classic display of the hand speed of Floyd Mayweather as compared to Marquez. He lands 2 clean, beautiful, perfectly timed punches right away, as soon as Marquez moved right into range. And there's nothing that Marquez can really do to stop that. We was mentioning, Max, earlier that just a victory for Marquez would just to be the winner round. I think it's going to be a great victory if he can make it through these next couple of rounds.
I agree.
Because I think Floyd's going to step it up, and I think physically, spiritually, and mentally, Marquez is like finished now.
Yeah, this is an amazing performance so far by Floyd Mayweather. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, sir. 9 rounds to nothing, 90 to 80, Floyd Mayweather. You know, Jim, you talk about ring generalship. Everybody asks me, what's ring generalship? You know, Floyd Mayweather's keeping his fight in the middle of the ring. That's ring generalship. It's where he wants to keep the fight. You notice, very, very rarely does he go up on the ropes, because he knows if he goes up on the ropes, he gives Marquez a chance. In the meantime, he's murdering him with the left jab. The only thing I haven't seen Floyd throw is a good left hook to the body, because Marquez is open for it. Other than that, it's all Mayweather, 9 to nothing.
This fight looks like Floyd's going to try to draw it to its conclusion.
He's going to try to get him out of here this round.
You know, we don't have CompuBox statistics from the careers of great fighters of the past to use as a comparative standard. We can only use the numbers that CompuBox has amassed for us in the past 20 years. Floyd Mayweather is landing 57% of his punches in the fight against a super top opponent. Now, I have no idea whether Sugar Ray Robinson or Ray Leonard ever landed 60% of their punches against a super top opponent. Maybe they did. But this is the kind of performance that establishes how brilliant Mayweather truly is and how technically profound his skills are, albeit against a smaller man.
Those who said heading into this fight that it was a mismatch because of Mayweather's size and speed were right. And in addition to the size and speed, you're seeing a mismatch of skill. And against Juan Manuel Marquez, that's saying something.
In addition to everything that Mayweather is doing offensively, as we delineated for you, he's also not getting hit. Marquez is landing, by CompuBox count, 12% of his punches in the fight. He's being swamped. I mean, I think a lot of people were enthusiastic about Mayweather's chances to look great in the fight. But this great, I think it's shocking.
Fight's going exactly as I figured.
You knew?
Yeah, I always figured the fight would go. He's big, fast, and too much skill on top of that. And you can't do that with a guy that, that's why they have those weight, like I say. If it was the same weight, maybe it'd be different. But no, not with a Marquez at this stage of his career. And he's physically just not that big.
Certainly appears that Floyd may be capable of knocking Marquez out when he wants to, if he'll take a risk. And at this point, what risk is it?
Don't bring your hands down. Are you very tired? No. Don't bring your head up.
One set. Okay.
Are you good? Okay.
Te faltan dos rounds.
2 left. There's 2 left.
Once we're here, we see that Marquez cannot seem to hold off anything that Mayweather's doing pretty much. Mayweather's hitting him at will. The reason he hasn't stopped is because he hasn't opened up all the way yet.
CompuBox numbers in round 10. Mayweather landing 34 out of 58. Again, 60%. Marquez 4 out of 50, 8%. The 34 punches landed by Mayweather, his high number for the fight. He's doing whatever he wants to do against a Hall of Fame opponent.
Yeah, guys like Roy Jones and Oscar De La Hoya had fights in their careers against marketable, smaller men where they completely dominated them. Roy Jones against Vinny Pazienza, Oscar De La Hoya against Arturo Gatti. And Pazienza and Gatti were good fighters. But Marquez is a top pound-for-pound fighter.
And against him, Floyd Mayweather now has landed more punches than he's landed in any other fight, and he's totally swamped all the previous statistics about people landing punches against Marquez. He's making a mockery out of what some expected to be a true summit meeting.
Yeah, the impression Floyd's leaving here is even if you took away the size advantage he would be way too much for Marquez.
And certainly those people who've been so enthusiastic about Pacquiao's chances against Mayweather may now have to re-examine that theory.
And that's one of the reasons Floyd chose Marquez clearly as his comeback opponent. At the beginning of the fight, Jim, I asked, can Floyd convince us that he's still the best fighter in the world? Some would say, well, no, not against Marquez. He's too small, and he was cherry-picked by Floyd because he was too small. But this is the kind of performance that will convince many that Floyd is still the best fighter in the world.
And despite all the publicity about his various distractions, about his glitzy, bling-filled lifestyle, about the amazingly unusual family life you see on 24/7, despite all of those things, independent sources confirm he is as hard and as diligent a worker in the gym as there is or has been in the sport.
Yeah, and even when he was off, that was the one thing that people don't notice. When he was off, he was still going to the gym training. It's like some guys quit, they're golfing, they're drinking, they're doing a lot of things. Their minds are not even in boxing. He's always been training in the gym continually.
Floyd goes to nightclubs, but he doesn't drink. He stays up late, but often it's to train. There are no flies on his approach to the sport as a competitor.
And he clearly here is pressing for the knockout. Something he's been criticized in the past for not getting when he's outclassed certain opponents.
So, with the goal of winning a moral victory by taking a round now seeming to elude him, Marquez goes for the other moral victory. Finish the fight.
That's what I thought at the beginning. I never thought he could win too many other rounds. Even if they may give him one, it'd be a comparative round because he did better than he did in another one.
Hey, you beat his ass. You beat his ass, but try him one more time.
Throw your combinations. Your combinations and bring your hands back high. And finish with dignity. You're here. Come on. You understand? Yes. It's the last round.
That shit, he don't know that's coming. One time.
Last round,
Last round.
Last round.
Last round, but you walk to him and keep doing what you're doing, so don't lack up on his ass. Finish the round strong, okay? All right. Keep boxing. Keep boxing. Tricky, that tricky shit. Let's go.
So if the 34 landed punches in the 10th round aren't enough to impress the crowd, Mayweather landed 41 out of 65 in round 11 in what is an increasingly embarrassing wipeout for Marquez.
Right, it's a fight that may go the distance if Marquez lasts this round, Jim, in which the winning fighter is landing a higher percentage of shots than we can ever remember, and the losing fighter is landing a lower percentage of shots than we can ever remember.
Indeed. What a poignant instruction from Nacho Beristain between rounds. Finish with dignity. That's all that's left for Marquez.
And that's all that he can do. It's all he can do.
Left hook lands perfectly for Mayweather.
He's trying for a knockout, but it's still that little conservatism in Floyd and little that's still just there. But he's going for the knockout the best he can. But he's not just not the type of guy that's going to go wide open. It's just not him.
I think he pressed it a little bit in the last round. Thought, all right, it's not so easy to get this guy out of there. and this round is not pressing for the knockout in quite the same way.
Well, it may frustrate some fans and observers that he doesn't seem to take any even remotely unwarranted risks, but then again, when you're this good, why should you?
Jim, you mentioned earlier that it's one huge competitive advantage that Mayweather enjoys, that he will not take more risks than necessary.
To please anyone. He's only really interested in pleasing himself.
And in terms of the marketplace, he compensates for the paucity of knockouts compared to some other fighters he's compared with, like Sugar Shane Mosley and Manny Pacquiao, with his mouth, which where he's able to talk up a fight.
Seconds as Juan Manuel Marquez tries to last the distance in a gruelingly difficult assignment against Floyd Mayweather, who has beaten him up.
What a performance by Floyd Mayweather.
What a return to the sport. 21 months off, and he's better than ever. Arguably the greatest performance of Mayweather's great career. Unquestionably, he will move to 40 wins, no losses. And the next time people publish their pound-for-pound lists, they must take into account what this man has done.
He looked good tonight. I thought Diego Corrales was his best performance. But considering everything, it was a good performance tonight still. He came back, did everything he said he was going to do, dominated a top class. In fact, the guy's about rated number 2, I guess, pound for pound. So he did a great job of what he was supposed to do.
He is indeed rated number 2 pound for pound on a consensus basis. Let's take a look at what Mayweather was able to do against Marquez throughout the course of the fight. Round 1 dominated by Floyd Mayweather. In round 2, a perfect left hand past Marquez's right hand guard and on to the trunk. Marquez went. Now he's down 3 points in the fight. Mayweather dominated rounds 4 and 5. And here in the 6th round, a Mayweather counter right. Then he slips a Marquez counterpunch, making it look easy. By the 9th round, Marquez was showing signs of being beaten up, and Mayweather was landing at will. Great left and right hand combination there. Down the stretch, it appeared that the knockout may well be within reach, but typically Floyd Mayweather took no unwarranted risk, simply kept fighting the way he knows how to fight, and settled for the exceedingly easy 12-round conquest of Juan Manuel Marquez. Marquez will now, in all likelihood, return to the lightweight division, and Mayweather continues along his path. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the formality, it would seem, of the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the MGM Grand, we go to the scorecards. William Lerch scores at 118-109. Burt Clements, 120-107. Dave Moretti, 119-108. All to the winner by unanimous decision. He's back. He is Floyd Mayweather.
A truly brilliant performance for a truly brilliant fighter. He goes to pay his respects to Marquez, Beristain. Final CompuBox numbers here. Mayweather landing 221 more punches, throwing 90 fewer. Again, that trademark economy. 59% connect percentage through 12 rounds against a Hall of Fame fighter. It's absolutely stunning. And he limits Marquez to 12% overall. Marquez landing only 7% of his jabs. Mayweather, who does not use the jab as frequently in some other fights as he did tonight, landing 60% of them. And his economical assortment of power punches. 15 per round, 10 of them landing, or 9 of them landing in every round. 60% connect percentage basically throughout the fight for the amazing Floyd Mayweather, and Max Kellerman stands by with the winner.
Congratulations, Floyd, on a spectacular performance. Give me your impression of the fight.
Well, you know, I've been off 2 years. And first off, I want to thank God, because without God, all this wouldn't be possible. I want to thank Team Mayweather, thank all the fans that supported me, thank all Marquez fans. It was one hell of a fight, you know. But I can get better. I can get better.
Better than that? How? Did you? You seemed as though you were pushing for the knockout in the 11th round. Didn't get it, and maybe eased up a bit in the 12th. Is that what happened?
Oh, he's tough. He's tough as nails. I take my hat off to him. You know, he's one hell of a fighter. And you know, I want to give thanks to Reebok and all the sponsors that sponsor the fight.
Floyd,
Reebok, let's do it, baby.
Before we do any commercials, or let's not do any commercials.
I gotta do my commercials. That's 7 figures, baby. I gotta do my commercials now. It's my
Floyd,
time to shine.
you gave up $600,000 reportedly on the scales yesterday. Why?
Well, I'm not here to talk about money. You know.
What about weight?
I'm happy with the victory. You know, I want to thank my team. My team supporting me. I want to thank my father, Floyd Mayweather Jr. I want to thank Roger Mayweather. I want to thank all the fans that came out.
Floyd, it seems that you perceive questions like that as being negative, when in fact we just really want to know. It was a spectacular performance, and people are curious about the weight. You don't want to address it at all?
Well, I'm here to talk about my victory. You know, that's in the past, and you know, I'm ready to move on to bigger things.
We'll take that as a no. You said before the fight, a great big man, which you are, would beat in this fight, would beat a good little man. That's exactly what happened.
No, he's a great little man.
He is a great little man. That's right. You said good, but he is great. He's a great little man.
He's a great fighter.
And that's what happened.
Yes,
there is, before we get to Pacquiao, it's on everyone's mind, there is another truly great fighter here tonight who's your size, Sugar Shane Mosley. What are the possibility that we see that fight in the near future?
Shane Mosley is one hell of a fighter, and I don't take that away from Shane. You know what I'm saying? I let Al Heyman and Leonard Ellaby conduct my bouts, and then we'll go from there. I'm not scared of Shane Mosley. I'm not scared of no fighter.
We just want to get it on. That's all. I mean, the fans want to see a great fight. Me and Money Mayweather. Let's get this on. Let's do it.
Well, it's like this. Wait.
All right, that's it. Hold on, Bernard, everybody calm down. Floyd. Shane, please. Floyd, let's concentrate here. Let's concentrate. You good? Bernard, please.
I don't come up there and interrupt you when you're doing your interview. Don't disrespect me. Respect me as a man.
Okay. Shake hands. Good. Now, Floyd.
Respect me as a man.
Now, Floyd. Shane, not now. Manny Pacquiao. I thought that would get your attention.
Don't nobody get my attention. I know what I can do. I know what I bring to the table.
And you showed what you can do tonight.
And I showed what I can
Let me ask you about the selection of Marquez as the opponent. It seems that...
The thing is this. I'm going to do the talking because you do too much talking. The thing is this.
All right, Jim.
Let me do the talking then.
Jim.
Okay then. Put it back down, Jim.
I really
All right. So a tumultuous post-fight interview. Floyd seems to be glorying in every moment of that. Certainly he deserves the right to crow at this moment. Which fight do you want to see him fight?
Well, the biggest money fight that everybody wants to see is Pacquiao, because Pacquiao has followed his way into the heart.
Assuming Pacquiao could beat Miguel Cotto.
But I think, and I don't know how that could happen, I would love to see him fight Shane Mosley for me, because I would see him fighting a welterweight. I mean, we're still going from a lightweight, a junior lightweight to another one. I would really want to see him fight a good fight with another welterweight, because that's what Floyd really is. He's a solid welterweight now. But, you know, the money fight everybody wants to see is Pacquiao, so that may take place.
Do you think that he will eventually, under some circumstance, fight other top welterweights like Shane Mosley, like Miguel Cotto if, for instance, he gets past Pacquiao, like Andre Berto if he continues to grow and develop? Will Floyd Mayweather fight those people?
I think he eventually will have to fight him, and he will fight him. And he's going to be good with anybody he fights. The man's got a lot of talent. And I say that not just because of his professional career, I mean, as an amateur, that's when you find real talent. He's always been a brilliant fighter since he was a kid. And I think he's going to do well with any of those guys. I just would like to see him fight another welterweight.
Of course, you're correct. If Pacquiao gets past Miguel Cotto, then the public is going to demand that summit meeting between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. But Max, after what we saw tonight, is there still legitimate reason to believe that Pacquiao, who is probably, like Marquez, the smaller man against Mayweather, would have legitimate chances to beat him?
Before I even answer that, I just want to address Floyd's behavior. It seems to me that in certain ways he can't get out of his own way. I'm friendlier in my disposition to Floyd than most in the media because I enjoy pure boxers, and he's an all-time great pure boxer. And yet he seems to feel persecuted by even me, who really enjoys his craft. I don't think he does himself favors when he behaves that way. I will say this. Floyd, and the final question I wanted to ask him about Marquez, Floyd's choosing of Marquez, it seems to me, was to put on this kind of show because Marquez looked so good against Pacquiao twice. By way of comparison, Floyd will convince people, look, I was the best, I'm still the best. Look what I did to this guy who gave Pacquiao life and death twice. And even though Marquez is the much smaller man, there's no way around the emotional impression left when you see Floyd do something like that to a fighter as good as Marquez. Just like there's no way around the emotional impression left when you see Pacquiao obliterate De La Hoya, even though De La Hoya was drained by weight at the end of his career, and destroy Ricky Hatton, even though Ricky Hatton also looked really spent by the time he fought Pacquiao. There's just no way around the emotional impression left. So even though a lot of people will say, maybe correctly, of course he was going to beat up the smaller man, try to get that image out of your head of Floyd actually doing it. I think he increased his negotiating position in a super fight with Manny Pacquiao because many will believe that he has reasserted himself as the best fighter in the world again, whether or not it's true.
All right, Max, we've been told, incidentally, that Juan Manuel Marquez is so eager to talk to us that we are now going to extend our show for the purpose of giving Juan Manuel a chance to say his piece. And he joins us now, the very dignified Mexican warrior, Juan Manuel Marquez. Juan, you made it to the end of what was an extremely difficult fight for you. Was his speed shocking to you?
Yes, I said I have a top fight. Floyd Mayweather is a speed. He has a speed throw punches. I doing my best job.
Do you want to keep doing the interview in English? I can get an interpreter if you prefer.
Yes, I think it's better.
Okay, let's bring in Luis, our cameraman. Luis Vasquez will serve now as interpreter. He has already talked about what Mayweather was able to do in the fight. What answers did he consider in the middle rounds for possibly changing the fight? What did he try and why didn't it work?
¿Qué tratas de hacer en los medio rounds? ¿Y por qué no tratas de cambiar? ¿Y por qué no funcionó?
Bueno, nosotros tratamos de trabajar la velocidad y la velocidad estaba dando resultados, pero es un peleador bastante rápido y la diferencia de peso fue mucha.
All right, changing personnel on the fly. We bring in Jerry Olaya, our regular interpreter. What did he say?
We tried to work the speed and we were improving, but obviously the difference was the weight, and the difference was quite considerable.
So, having experienced 24 near-even rounds with Manny Pacquiao, and having seen what happened to you, a smaller man, against Mayweather, is there any reason to believe that Pacquiao could do better?
¿Pensar que Pacquiao podría ser mejor?
No, yo creo que aquí la velocidad son cuestiones de estilos diferentes. Mayweather es un peleador que está muy a la defensiva, muy a los contragolpes, y Pacquiao es un peleador que ataca nada más y que no usa mucho su técnica.
It's a matter of styles, and Mayweather is a defensive fighter who does the counter-punching, and Pacquiao is a man who attacks and doesn't use much of technique.
So what kind of fighter could beat Floyd Mayweather?
¿Qué tipo de boxeador podría ganarle a Mayweather?
No, yo creo que nosotros hicimos nuestro mejor papel. Nosotros subimos al ring con la esperanza de ganar. Yo creo que hicimos nuestro mejor trabajo y bueno, yo creo que la diferencia de peso fue mucha. Yo creo que si yo hubiese tenido 3, 4 peleas en este peso nos hubiéramos sentido mejor.
You know, it's difficult, but I feel if we would have had maybe 2 or 3 fights at this weight class, I would have done much better. It would have been a different story.
What else did you want to say in coming to us if I may not have given you a chance to say it?
¿Qué más querías decir?
No, nada más que esta pelea di lo mejor de mí. Yo creo que hice mi mejor trabajo, me preparé bastante bien y esta pelea es para todos mis compatriotas, para mi país, e incluso se la dediqué al presidente de México. Bueno, la victoria la noche no fue para nosotros, pero yo creo que di una digna pelea.
I gave the best of myself. We prepared to win, and I dedicate this night to all the Mexicans and even to the president of Mexico, and we planned to win. That was our game plan.
Muchas gracias, Juan Manuel. You are still the lightweight champion of the world. All right, thank you very much. And now a final comment from me on Max Kellerman's experience in the ring, and you heard Max comment on his assessment of what that means regarding Floyd Mayweather. Let me just say this. He is by no means the first public figure to choose the media as his public adversary. He certainly won't be the last, and there surely are no shortage of people in the audience out there among you and here among his supporters who appreciate that he does so. It is once again his right and his privilege. And as he showed tonight, he may very well be, even in the wake of a 21-month layoff, still the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Thanks very much for being with us. We'll be back next week on HBO, coming to you from Los Angeles with that great fight in the heavyweight division between Vitali Klitschko and Chris Arreola. Mayweather-Marquez has been brought to you by MGM Grand, the city of entertainment in Las Vegas. Tecate Beer, cerveza con character. Also by AT&T and its new Viva Mexico wireless plan. Call to and from Mexico as if it were a local call. Southwest Airlines, grab your bag. It's on. Affliction Clothing. Military.com, all the benefits of service, and by HBO Pay-Per-View, the best in pay-per-view entertainment, brought to you by HBO. We'd also like to thank the following internet partners. And check this out, you can now get exclusive updates from HBO's Facebook and Twitter sites, and as always at HBO.com, the online face of HBO Boxing. And now for our entire crew, I'm Jim Lampley saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada.